All right, and welcome to Ladies That Lead, interviewing amazing ladies that are leading with their heart to cause a positive ripple effect into this world. And today I have the amazing, and I have to say, overachiever, Dr. Renata Taravski. Now I can't say your last name.
I just gonna butcher it. It's fine, Taravski.
Taravski. So we were just chatting right before we started about how you can know people and not know their last names, and we're both of Polish descent. So here we go. So we're starting it all off, and Renata is not only a naturopathic doctor, she's also a mindset and mindset and alignment coach. She's a yoga instructor. She's also co-founder of Wellness Witches, which I follow religiously on Instagram, and it's phenomenal. And she's also a speaker. So that's what I mean by overachiever. So welcome, Renata.
God, when you put it that way. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so exciting to have you here. And I love how we met, because we met actually on the phone for the first
time. Yeah, we did meet on the phone.
Yeah. So I think it was about a year and a half ago. Oh, the lights are going on. About a year and a half ago, I wanted to create something for a group of women, and it was a love life discovery group. And essentially what that was like playing with relationships for a self-discovery of love, of the best relationship that we've had with ourselves. And Renata was introduced to the group. So I was just kind of like just chatting with ladies just to see if it was a good fit. And I will never forget the phone call with you.
Really?
Yeah. Because
why?
You were a powerhouse. And I was like, because, I had no reference. Jennifer just was like, oh, yeah, Renata might also want to do it. I'm like, great, cool. I got on the phone with you, and you're like, no bullshit, no back. Like, let's just say how it is. And I'm like, you're in. You're in. Like, whoever you are in. And just
wow.
Strong, confident woman. And I was like, I couldn't wait to meet you. We got to meet at that Scotch whiskey for women night. Do you remember?
Yeah, what was that place called again?
Is it the Caledonian?
I don't know, but it was fun.
That was fun. Anyway, and now we just cross paths, and we kind of keep it like tabs on each other, and I just love it. And I just love watching and following everything you do, because you are so, like, you inspire me. Your drive inspires me. Every time I'm online, I'm like, okay, get going, Jen. Like, you're just absolutely amazing. So
that makes me really smile big.
Yeah. You're amazing.
That means a lot. I really appreciate hearing that feedback, because you know what, just because I come across maybe confident, that I still have those moments where I'm like, is this making a difference for anyone? Like, does this actually like make sense? So hearing that it's just, I'm happy to hear that it makes that difference, because that's what my intention is.
Who you are makes a difference. And that's why I want to highlight you. And I want you to definitely contribute more of your stuff on Ladies That Lead, that if that speaks to you, contribute away. And I really want to highlight you and people to follow you and people to watch you. Because what's interesting about us, what I've learned, through our many different conversations, we have a very similar vision, and we have a very similar, we talk the same language, but we talk it differently.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so, and I love that about you. I just fucking love your sometimes I love it. Like, if I need a kick in the ass, I'm going to call you. It's like that tough love. I'm like, okay, let's get it going. So I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I want to know, and I want to share with everyone that's watching this, your origin story. I freaking love origin stories. How did you get to where you are now and doing all this laundry list of fun stuff?
Okay, let me try to give you really fast. So number one, I guess first, I was sick. So not sick like in the hospital sick, but I was struggling with depression and anxiety and IBS, an eating disorder, and I had a lot of hormonal havoc. My periods who knows when they were coming, or they were coming too many times a month. I was just a hot mess. And I was in university at the time. And I remember sitting in a class in some shitty freaking class. I don't even know what it was. I was like, why am I in this class? I don't even like what the hell I'm learning. Like, this is going to be my life. Like, this is my life. Me like worrying about how many calories I'm going to eat in a day, like feeling anxious as fuck. And then, and learning shit that I don't even like, this is what I'm doing. And it was like something clicked in my brain. And I remember being like, this isn't what I want to be doing with my life. And I was studying to become a psychiatrist. Funny, right?
Wow.
And then having to go through what I was going through into the doctor. And I was like, I'm not well. Like, I know I'm not well. Like, I know I have some form of depression. I know I'm anxious. I know, like, I'm learning this stuff. So it's not like, you know, how students diagnose themselves, like medical students. It's like, no, like there's a problem. And I remember, because I was always outgoing and bubbly, and the doctor was like, well, I don't know, like, I was like, I want to go talk to someone. I don't want to take medication. And this was like over 10 years ago. And I remember talking to a counselor, and they were just like kind of looking at me like, what do you mean you feel that way? Like, that's how it felt. That's how it landed for me. And I was like, this is our medical system? Like, are you kidding me? And I was like, I don't want to go into conventional medicine. And I think what happened to me was an absolute blessing. I never look back and wish that I would not change my story. Like, I think that our lowest points can really allow us to see, like, it gives us the I guess the spark to really shine. Because if I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't be here where I am today. So I think it's an absolute blessing that I had to go through that. At the time was quite shit to be where I am today. And I remember just Googling stuff and came across naturopathic medicine. And I was like, what the hell is this stuff? It makes so much sense. Like, think about it. Like, I was in like 20 something, that over 10 years ago, naturopathic medicine wasn't where it is today. And I remember just for the first time in my life, I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. I don't even know how I'm going to make a career out of this. I don't know anything about this, but it feels right. And that for me was like my first big moment of alignment, where I'm like, and I was a pros and cons person. So you got to get that this was a huge step for me, that I would put things in a list. And even if the pros list was better than the cons, but it felt wrong, I would still do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where this made absolutely no logical sense. And I remember just signing up. And for the first time, I felt like I was like freaking divinely guided. And it was like, no, you need to go here. And I was like, another 4 years of school and like $120,000 later, you're just like, okay, let's do it. And then when I graduated school, I was practicing for a bit. I remember at 6 months full-time practice, my schedule was completely packed. And I was like, oh, wow, like I made it. Like, I had no business background. And I'm like, I reached my goal. And I felt like absolute shit. I gained 10 pounds. My skin was a hot mess. And I had to take like these Chinese herbs because my anxiety was through the roof again. Right. Like, I couldn't go into the office without taking like my natural anxiety herbs without functioning. And I was like, what the hell's happening again?
Right.
And then I remember sitting there and being like, so this was like maybe like this is like a stepping stone. And I remember deep in my heart, I always wanted to just coach people. I was really good at guiding. So like with my patients, I was great at guiding things, but I saw myself like on a more global scale.
Yeah.
And what was missing, I saw, was in wellness, in health and healing and coaching, is a lot of people, like, the world needs these gifts that people have to offer, but so many people don't feel like they're good enough, or they're hiding out and they're too afraid to shine. And I was like, well, I like inspiring people and kicking people in the ass and telling them what to do. And there's a big gap here. So now I'm like, I want to inspire, because I can't change the world. I'm only one person. And we all got to work together. And everyone has, like you said, we're on the same vision, but we're speaking a different language. That your message, the way you say it, might resonate with someone else. I don't give a shit if they don't want to come see me. But if you can inspire them, then I'm doing my job. Yeah. So then I was like, oh my God, this is where I'm meant to go. Never in a million years I would have thought that. So now I help women in their business, soul-driven women in their wellness, spiritual, alternative business, have the confidence and clarity to create that aligned life and business that they absolutely love, so they can serve the world doing what they were born to do.
Yes, I just love it. I just love everything about that. And I just love how you've actually like used your feels to navigate like your truth.
Yeah.
You know? And I just love what you do. I just love, and I this is how I see like the whole transformation of the world happening.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's stepping into their light work and doing their thing and doing what they're amazing at and spreading their gifts.
Yeah.
Doing
And
something.
so I know some of the other questions will lead to giving me the advice, so I won't give it all right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, ladies that lead questions, I need a brag, I need an offer, something that you really want to highlight for the people that are watching here today. And I also need what you need to get you to the next level.
So it's brag?
Brag first.
Brag.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm always think it's never enough. So this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna give myself permission to brag.
This is why we do this, by the way.
Yeah, no, I get it, because we need acknowledgement. We all need acknowledgement. It's not narcissistic. It's healthy to acknowledge what our wins. And for me, I think my brag is how much I created over this past year. Like, I actually wrote down all the shit that I did, and I was like, oh my God, like,
yeah,
that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Like, if I was like saying this to my friend, I'd be like, dude, that's incredible. So I'm actually very proud of like coming out and doing this alignment mindset coaching and the amount of opportunities I got in 1 year, from speakers at events, keynote speakers at like big festivals and events, and on panels. I got my first book published. I'm creating my coaching.
Go on.
So I just wrote a chapter. Sorry. I wrote a chapter in a lightworker book called Star Seeds. And working on my new brand and like really going for it. Like, I want to brag that, because like I've been cultivating this shit inside me for like 15 years, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah. I love that. And that's something that I actually started doing too. I actually do a year in review every year. Because a lot of times, like for me, I feel like, oh, I haven't done that much. And then when I do a year in the review, I'm like, oh my goodness. And what I've noticed too, I've now done this just 2 years in a row, that all my major successes, for me at least right now, have been birthed out of like perceived failures, things that I've gone for, and things that haven't worked out have birthed my like biggest successes along the way.
And yeah, no, I think they absolutely are, because they're those moments that tell you, you know what, like, this is actually not what I want, or what can I learn from this? And I think not just like, oh, I got to be speaking here and I'm creating this brand, but what I also want to say is my ability to really like do a lot of inner healing. I want to brag about, and forgiveness and patience.
Yeah.
And just compassion for people. Like, this year has been huge for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
You can actually sense a little change in you.
I know people say that. They're like, you're like a little softer.
a little softer. And I like that. And it's you still have your no BS approach, but with this like ease to you, and it's in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool, because your ease will translate to other people having ease in themselves.
For sure.
Love it. Okay, what do you want to offer?
So I'm creating a alignment starter kit. It's free. And I'm writing that as we speak. And that will be on my new website to opt in, but there's a landing page if you just go to my Instagram that you could just sign up for. And it's like my top alignment practices to help you get whatever you want.
Amazing. I'm going to download it. That's great.
Yeah. Get on the wait list. It's not released yet, but that's what I'd like to offer people, because I think it's important that they get some basics on alignment so they can start making shit happen.
That's perfect. And then, so I'm going to post everything
amazing
has, and then you can go, and that way they can stay connected to you and get on the email list and like be connected with you for all the other things that you offer down the road. Love it. Okay. What do you need? This is a good question too.
I need like a team of people. Like, I need a videographer. I need a photographer. I need a life manager. Yeah. I think my most important thing is I need all those things, but I think just accountability. Accountability. I do have a coach, but I think not someone I'm paying, just like an entrepreneur accountability.
You know what I do, and me and her say this is like, I'm so grateful for this. I have a friend, and we started our businesses. She's an organizer, so she goes to people's house and she simplifies their homes and makes them have space for the life that they love. You know?
Yeah.
And so we started our businesses around the same time, and we just started chatting once a week. So we're, I'm not coaching her, she's not coaching me. We're just
Right.
chatting
Yeah. Yeah.
everything. And we're having some amazing sessions these weeks where we're like, I'll say something, and she's like, "Oh, are you doing that?" I'm like, "No, but that's a great idea." Like,
Yeah.
so I know that's really helped me, and I it's really helped her as well. Just
Hmm.
like accountability, and it's not a coach, which
No, I don't want to coach because I pay someone for that right
yeah.
now. Like, I don't want that.
So maybe what you need, and this is like anyone that's watching is like, oh, that Renata is super cool. Also, what I like about Lisa and I is we have a different business.
Yes. I don't want someone in the same business.
Yeah, which is nice because so many different ideas. And anyway, I really love it, and we've been doing it for like I think over a year now. And it's made a huge impact in my
Yeah.
life.
And it's like someone who's not necessarily a good friend either, right? Because it's just like having that stranger that you like can just talk about, and it's like your safe haven kind of thing. I
Yeah,
think that's important. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and it's neat. Like we talk about all our failures, we talk about all of our successes. We also make each other realize just what we were talking about, our brag about how everything is coming along too. Because
Hmm.
when you get distance from yourself, and so I see her and I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. All these opportunities that are coming your way. I'm like, holy crap, like you're going to be on HGTV soon. Like it's amazing,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, and she's reminding me, she's like, that was your goal. You said that last year and that just happened. I'm like, oh yeah, so there you go. Put that out into the ether. Let's
Yeah, I just did because I was like, I'm going to leave that question blank till she asks me and see what just comes naturally for what I need.
see what comes. Perfect. All right. So I want you to think about yourself, your past self, and some hard times. Some advice you would give your former self.
Uh, I think it might is to share, is to really just like share what it is inside that you want to share. Like I held back a lot. Like I started my Instagram as like a food blog
Yeah.
thing, but really I want to talk about spirituality and truth and your gifts and confidence and stuff like that and following your path. And that was inside me for so long, but it's like I was waiting for some permission slip to start. And I say, like, you don't need a title. You don't need X amount of experience. If it wasn't inside you right now to share, it's inside you right now to share for a reason. There's nothing else you need. So that's what I would have told myself, to go after it sooner.
And do you still like when you're doing your like posting for wellness witches and stuff, do you
Yeah.
still like, ooh, how is this going to be received? Or
Um, oh yeah, there's moments still where I'm like, God, I don't know how that's going to land. Or even on my Dr. Renata page, yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, is that too much? And then I'm like, that's my brand. So
yeah,
like you're not everyone's going to agree with you, and it's actually a good thing. You should have people be like, I don't agree with what you say, because if you have everyone agreeing with you, that means you're not doing it. Like that means you're holding back.
yeah.
So that's just a context I've created for myself.
I think this is really important because this is something that I know I do still.
Hmm.
And I think, many people can resonate with this.
Yeah, and I think there's posts that I do, and I was like, that came straight from my ego, and I delete them because I was like, that's not me. That was me forcing shit. And now I don't post anything if I feel like I have to post something, or if it's forced, or I should, or it's good for the algorithm. I'm like, I'd rather post when I actually want to share something. And I've been sharing more what I'm doing and being excited about it, as opposed to like waiting, like more behind the scenes, like my journey, and being more like, this is what I'm going through, versus like, here's an upcoming event. Here's that. I do less of that now. And I have way more people being like, I want to work with you, or I'm inspired by what you do, by me just being me. It
Yeah.
sounds super simple, but it's like so uncomfortable and
Yeah.
hard to do sometimes. And it seems like a challenge, but I feel like it's just like, it just feels right.
I'm getting inspired right now because this is something that right now, even in my life, like I do different posts, I do different videos. One
Mm-hmm.
video that is really close to my heart, that I still get like heart palpitations for, is something I do somatic Sundays, and it's
Mm-hmm.
psyche and the physical. And it's one that doesn't get a lot of views or a lot of comments. And I love talking about, it's about emotions a lot of times, and emotional resiliency and things like that. And I feel myself holding back a lot of times with it. So watch out. Maybe a new video is going to come out where I really explore this topic.
Because you know what we do? We look at how many comments and posts and likes and views we get, and then we're like, yeah, maybe, it's doing great. And I say, you know what? People are still watching and getting inspired. Sometimes people don't want to comment or like because they don't want other people to see that they commented or liked it, because they're not ready for that to be exposed to the world. Yeah. Right? So like, you can't base it just on that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have 5 people view a post versus 300 and they get shit out of it.
Absolutely.
What difference is that making?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is just a really good reminder, Renata, because this is something I've been coming up against recently, quite a lot. So watching. All right. So, everything that you do, what's something like just a nugget of like wisdom that you can impart? So if somebody's watching this right now and they're like, yes, what's something about my mindset, about how to get in alignment, wellness, yoga, speaking, what do you want to give today?
What do I want to give today? What's coming?
Instagram, like your Instagram's freaking amazing. Like any kind of like how-tos.
There's just so many in my brain right now. Okay, I think this one's the first thing that pops into my head, and I keep cycling, is start saying no to more things. Ooh. People are saying, and even like, you got to trust that I started saying no to opportunities. Like people are like, oh, well, would you want to come here? And I was like, to speak. And I was like, you got to follow your instinct, and that's alignment. So it's like, don't do shit because you think, oh, like this, if you start to justify, it's going to be a gong show. It just will be. Right? You got to trust that, because a lot of times we just hop on things and we come from a place of there's not enough, like scarcity. When you're in alignment, you're like, this isn't aligned with me. I'm turning it down for what is aligned with me.
Yeah.
And that can be very scary at first. But I've done that a lot this year, and I'm glad I did, because the opportunities that really were aligned were able to come through. Because if you fill your time and space with a lot of shit that doesn't serve you, guess what? And then you're wondering why what you want can't come through. Because we only have too much energetic space, physical space, mental and emotional space. So don't be afraid to say no. Don't say yes to everything if it's not really like aligned with what you do. And that feeling is different for all of us. And I know each of you have your own language, and trust it. You got to start trusting that, because people bump their heads and be like, it's not working out. I'm like, because you're not listening, and you're not taking action based on those hunches, because you're waiting for some evidence that isn't going to come. You got to take it before the evidence shows up.
And let me ask you this, because I think this is really, so we all have our different instincts or intuition.
Yeah.
See how we have different language? I love it. Instincts.
Yeah.
Intuition. We all have these different ways in which we listen and hear things. So why don't you share the way you hear your instincts, and I'll share the way I hear my intuition, just to give some people ideas of that.
So mine will be, it's like a clear knowing or a clear feeling. So sometimes someone will be like, oh, will you, do you want to come speak or whatever? And I'll be like, no, it's just like it's like a gut feeling. It's like this feeling in my gut. And it's not like I have a voice in my head, but it feels like it's kind of this like inner whisper, like, no.
Yeah. So it's a feeling, like it gets to, and a whisper.
Oh. Do you want to hear actually a story? I went to the dentist and I was supposed to get a root canal.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, this is a beautiful example. Actually, we might go over 2 minutes. Is on my x-ray, it showed like I had a leaky cavity in it. It was like my tooth was decaying from the inside out. Yeah, I know the naturopath gets the cavity. It's more like I had a fear of the dentist and I avoided it for years. Don't do that. And I knew there was an issue, and then I had some infection, and they're like, no, you need a root canal. Even though the dentist was like, you need a root canal, the x-ray showed like the amount of damage that was done in my gut still. I was like, I don't think I need a root canal. I just can't. Like, that's not making sense. And they're the authority figure in this situation, right? And this is what we do. Even though we might have like all the check marks or all the boxes, or the person's saying all the things that, they're saying, but something's not matching. That's a healthy skepticism where you're like, something's not feeling right. I ended up getting a second opinion for a holistic dentist, and he's like, no, your nerve's still alive. So you have a third option. Like, we can clean it out and we can patch it up, and then we can put a permanent filling. But had I not trusted my hunches,
Yeah.
even though the external world did not provide me any, flashing lights like, no, you're making the right choice, I had to trust that, even though the bloody x-ray and the dentist was like, no, it's too far gone. I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I love that. It's like, just listening to your body.
Because what we do is when we don't, and things we know better, we get angry at ourselves because we didn't trust ourselves. So it's cultivating that self-trust and acting on it, even though the things don't present. Yeah. To be like, yeah, no, you're making the right choice. It's usually, you get no evidence. You just get a feeling.
Yeah. And that's how I listen. There's a few ways that I like hear my intuition. A lot of it is in my body. A lot. And whenever I'm checking into, because I want to check and override if fear is an option as well. So I ask myself usually just a simple question: is this making me expand or contract?
Yes.
Right. And then I'll just feel into it. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm really scared to go speak to this group of people, blah, blah, blah. But it's actually going to make me expand. But the same question, so I could be asked to do something and I think about it. No, by me saying yes is actually me contracting, because this is where I need to set my boundaries. And this to me is not a hell's yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Not in alignment. So that's how I listen to my intuition. And I also love symbols. So I have my eyes open for little things like, I love like animal symbology. So if I'm driving down the road and I keep on seeing horses, what's the meaning of horses? And I extrapolate the messages within that, because it will say a lot, but whatever I need to hear, it's right there in front of me. And I'm like, got it. Yeah.
And pay attention to the synchronicity. So people will be talking about the same things to me. I'll be like, okay, this is the 5th time I heard it in a week. I think I'm on the right track. And for me, it's numbers. So I'm big in numerology and signs like that.
Yeah.
So I'll see my numbers and I'll be like, I keep waking up at 333.
Yeah.
Or I keep waking up at 555. 555. Yeah.
And I just like having this kind of conversation, because when we're like, listen to your instincts, listen to your intuition. Well, what does that mean? So, so if anyone's watching this right now, just think about, go out this week and just see how you hear your intuition or how you listen to your instincts.
Yeah.
Everyone's has a little different strain of it. But once you find your formula, like, I think it's super easy now. Like, I know when I'm in alignment, I know when I've just stepped off path, and which is a lot different than say 10 years ago.
Yeah. It's a practice. It's a muscle. Your intuition's a muscle. We all have it. But it's a muscle you got to train, and you got to honor it. Yeah. You got to honor it, because it's the one that's watching out for you all the time.
I love it. Okay. Future Renata, what do you see? I know what I see, so you should.
What do you see?
What do you see? Where do you want what do you see for yourself down the road?
So, I see like, so I'll be doing coaching online, and then I see like, TED Talks for sure. TED Talk, and just having like international events and retreats, going around the world speaking, being interviewed. And then the wellness, which is too, like having an online platform to share like our chakra, no bullshit wisdom, and doing in-person retreats. Oprah, maybe. Not maybe, but I always say Oprah. That's where I see it, is going international for sure.
And I see that for you too. I see you on an international stage. I see you just have this way, you and Jennifer both have this like intrigue factor, like that it thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. You know it. You can feel it. So I can see that for you. I can see you doing whatever you want to do, Renata. because you're fucking badass.
Thank you.
And I love, because I think it was like during when we first met is when you're really transitioning into away from in like office to, okay, let's get yourself out, let's get your message out there on a wider scale, and just keep on doing what you're doing. I see you a really, really big influence to people on their path and finding alignment. So keep on doing that.
Oh, that makes my heart really happy.
Yay! Okay, so we'll wrap up with something I like to call fun facts. So what's a fun fact about yourself that you'd like to share?
A fun fact. I eat chocolate the first thing in the morning when I wake up. Before I drink water, I eat 2 pieces of dark chocolate.
Yes.
Why the hell do I have to wait at a certain time? That's such bullshit.
I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna start. That's amazing. Perfect. Well, that's it. That's it for the Ladies That Lead. And I want to thank you so much. And I want to thank you personally for being in my life and being such a influence to me. Like, I think it's really neat how we met and crossed paths, and now we're on this journey together. And I'm just so curious to where we land.
I know. And thank you so much for having me. I love what you're doing. I love your energy. You're always so positive and shining. And it's nice to see other people doing what is true for them and serving the world and in whatever way is right for them at that moment of time.
Yeah.
Because it's always evolving.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I love watching your evolution. So thank you. And thank you for doing this because it makes a difference for people.
Thanks. I love this stuff. I just love this community of badass women. Like, and I just want to grow and grow and grow this. So we'll see where this goes as well. So please contribute like crazy on the Ladies That Lead. I post this all over. So if people are watching this and they're like, I want more of this lady, then like come over to Ladies That Lead and all that fun stuff over there. So thank you. And
thank you for having me.
We'll see you soon.
Yes.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.